Welcome, viewers. This is Wadidja. As in, what did you say? What did you do? What did you think? And I think we are coming near our final mile. Might be the final 2 miles, I guess you could probably say, in that we have completed leveling up um, the Trickster, Pyromancer, and the Technomancer, and uh, and now the Devastator, all to world tier. Uh, well, excuse me, character level 30, as you can see. The Trickster, Pyromancer, and the Technomancer have all been upgraded through their Expedition level to set tier, challenge tier 15, and their world tier 15, as well as completion of the Ice Storm with the help of Mr. Laserbolt. So now we are here to the Devastator to complete the expedition runs and, hopefully get somewhere relatively quickly. I mean, it's my preference. I don't know exactly how long it's going to wind up taking, and it looks like we still have this issue with the red screen thing happening when you just back out of the lobby with your character. Had this even, you don't have to switch characters and that happens. So it seems like the remedy to that is to go in and unequip your armor and go back in to the game after that. So what we'll do is we'll unequip our armor. We'll go through all the extra steps necessary to try to play the game with as minimal issues as we can. Speaking of which, we need to keep in mind the point of making sure that we do not break down too many gear items at once, because I've heard sort of two different versions of this, but one is that it could randomly delete items from your inventory, or potentially delete your gear that you're actually wearing. So like I don't know what to make of it. It's kind of laughable at this point. I mean, because if the expression goes, if you don't laugh about it, you're gonna cry about it. So um, I'm hoping that this week might be my last week with Outriders until they seem to get things polished out, and resolved as far as the issues, because I'm at my limit on dealing with the circumstances that are just so discouraging. Um, it's very disappointing. It's like that relationship that you feel like you need to take a break from, um, because of this. It's some element of it that's very critical isn't right, but yet everything else is. Besides whatever element that is not correct. That they're great at home, but you can't take them anywhere because they got a bad attitude, or great in bed but bad in relationship. Great in relationship but bad in bed. Who knows? But either way, I'm just saying it's just some combination of the circumstance isn't cool, and I need to take a break. We ain't breaking up. We just gonna take a break. So unfortunately, sometimes people look at those breaks as breaking up. I've actually been through a real life scenario like that, which was very unfortunate. Either way, this is what we're doing with the build here, and I'm really not sure the best way to go about it, to be honest with you. But we're doing Shadow Comet on our main weapon with vulnerability. We're going to use Golem Rising and Shrapnel, Bone Shrapnel, for our secondary weapon. And we're going to continue along with this Moaning Winds and Death Chains on our sidearm. And really, the sidearm's just going to be kept in a state of reload so that we can proctor Moaning Winds. And I'm shocked they haven't nerfed that, to be honest with you. Gear wise here, we're going with Emergency Stance and Stand Tall. We're going with primarily an anomaly build, with a touch of firepower for those circumstances where it's necessary. I personally wanted to go all anomaly on the gear, but I couldn't quite get the right combination of mods and stuff, and I haven't resolved myself to glitch in the game, in the crafting system in the way that people can, where you make a quick save by moving camp and going in and selecting what you want. If it's not what you want, hard closing the game and reloading it and repeating that process until you get the right mod combination. So I'm trying to play the game as straight up as possible, but here on the jacket here, we've got Tremor and Untamed Power. Um, I really don't know necessarily what the best way to go for this melee build, and so I've got kind of a lot of survivability going on here. But we got Bloody Boost, the extra damage on the bleed because it is a melee bleed build, and Adrenaline, where your cooldown is 50% once your health drops below 50%, which is a pretty decent mod because your health can drop to 50% below quite frequently depending on the circumstance. And I mean, if you've got, so to be able to refresh all your abilities 50% faster in that instant is great. Um, because a lot of mods, when some of these mods when your health drops below 30%, like your health has to stay below 30% in order for the situation, the benefit to proc. With this, if as long as it hits 30%, you're already into that refresh mode of 50% faster. It doesn't have to stay there. Um, and of course, here for the melee aspect, we got the brawl for 100% extra damage and melee skill refreshing 50% faster. And then we've got the Phantom Dash, so we can get out of trouble when we get surrounded. So because we can dash through the enemies, and even odds, which I found to be fairly beneficial. In my last playthrough with the Technomancer, because it gives you like 10% health as long as you have even one enemy within 10-meter radius of you. Stacks up to 3 times. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna see how well we can do without having damage absorber, which I think if you had to choose between even odds and damage absorber probably might be the better way to go. At least that's what my experience has been so far. But um, right now with the way I have things set up and the choices available to me, this the best I can sort of do at the moment. I mean, once we hit level 49 and 50, of course with 50 we'll have the best of the best to choose from all 4 characters. But hopefully this will be adequate enough for us to get through the expeditions and with maybe, I'm sure with some help they probably get gold to get to tier 15 and definitely help to get to throughout the storm. But for the survivability here, we're going with Golem. We're going with Seismic, you know, Tremor here. Um, and we've got Gravity Leap for mobility and as well as damage and interrupt. So, um, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's the prescription of things tends to be, um, Earthquake uh, in place of Tremor, but a lot of people seem to go with Golem, Gravity Leap, and Tremor. I personally miss using the Reflect Bullet build. I mean, I thought it was really strong in the demo, and then it just seemed to be nerfed to the ground in the main game. Maybe one day I'll try it again once they get things together with the game, but I just don't feel like a repeat of that situation with when the game first came out and I tried it. As far as the class skills are concerned, here we're going with, like I said, a bleed build here with when you use a protection skill, anomaly power boosted by 45%, um, firepower 15% anomaly power, double the damage of the melee skill, cooldown, on our protection skill as well as our tremor here. So, and then a heal from our bleed that we're able to inflict with our melee because that's a particular class passive to the melee ability that you're able to inflict bleed to all enemies within a small radius. So we'll see how this goes. Um, Armor boost by an increase of the anomaly power. That's the other reason too why I wanted my helmet to be anomaly rather than firepower, but I just couldn't get the right mod combination that would benefit my situation. So it's a little bit of a trade-off for about 2,000 or so anomaly power. But increase armor by 20% and resistance by 20% for 10 seconds when your skill ends. Um, I think this means any skill. So there you have it. Um, bleed on the enemies, 30% more damage, and I think there's another one here where um, it deals 30% more damage. So that's like 60% more damage with the bleed, and increase the base skill of our seismic ability, the tremor. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not that fond of the Golem effect, to be honest with you, but I do respect the survivability of it, and so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, if I find out I don't need it and I need another damage skill, then I'll probably go with the earthquake ability. I think. Um, I mean, it's kind of you know yeah. Because there's a mod which will give you bleed. There's a mod also too which increase the range. There's a lot of beneficial mods to that, but it's only but so much you can do in these builds because each place can only hold 2 mods. So um, let me just check this vendor real quick. Yeah, she doesn't have anything. I'm kind of tempted real quick to do a quick run through the vendors real quick here because it would be nice to get an anomaly helmet. I did like 4 hours of grinding. Well, I think it was more like 3.5 hours of grinding for a helmet. The Huros's and the as far as the hunter missions, the monster hunt missions that are in the game, they seem to provide me the style of the helmet that I like here, which is the assassin's helmet. Um, or excuse me, the altered Reaper's mask. Excuse me, is the name of it. But yeah, the Reapers seem to the Huros's seem to provide that, and also too, I like this style boot you can get from that particular Monster Hunt too. Although the odds, the boots don't drop as frequently as the mask, and I think really it has to do with your server that you're on, as well as what you may or may not have equipped, and even in your inventory for that matter. I mean, it's I mean, the RNG in this game is weird, So it's there's theories where if the game thinks you need a particular thing because you're under geared in that way, you have a potential for um, things to drop. Like, so I needed a helmet, and so I needed a pair of boots. So I equipped a lower tier pair of boots, ran it on, grinded out the Huros run here at the dunes on World Tier 1, and was able to get the helmet and the boots to drop. Now I've seen them drop in other situations too, so I don't know necessarily if that really helped me one way or the other, but I kept switching servers after like 4 or 5 runs and I didn't notice things dropping. And I feel like that may have helped because when I got to a server, and basically I just closed the game down and restart the game. I don't even think going back to the home screen or the lobby uh, changes your server. So I would just close the game down and reopen it and go back in. And I feel like that changed my server, but I don't know fully if that's really affecting my drop chance. But one thing I did notice is that when I noticed the Reaper gloves, not the Reaper gloves, but the yeah, the Reaper gloves, and I think there's an assassin type gear that drops. When I noticed that, you notice the gloves or the pants or the jacket for those things drop, that the helmet was on the way. Um, and then I noticed like shooting one Hurras and then switching to the other Hurras and then going back to the other Hurras to kill it procced the drop of the helmet a little bit more often. Um, because this game seems to work on the variables you feed it, like what gear you were wearing, what you did in the mission, what weapon you were using, what gear you don't have fully maxed out. And so I feel like playing with those variables caused me to get more drops towards the helmet, which I needed more so than the boots. So that's how that went. I mean, like I said, it feels like a bunch of superstitious bullshit, but at the same time, I, I don't know what else to, I'm trying to net a result, and that seemed to net a positive result for what I was going for. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything that I need here at these vendors.
There's got to be a good 100-year-old vintage in one of them.
It's interesting how the NPCs do reflect the fact that you have completed the game, and the main campaign, and the drop pods are dropping to Earth. That's kind of cool. But it's just, it's a lot of cool things about the game. That's the reason why, people as well as myself have had their heart broken by the issues that seem to plague the circumstance. It really is unfortunate. But yeah, so I'm not seeing anything that is going to benefit me here. At least nothing that I can afford right now. So we'll go ahead and see what we can accomplish here with these world tier situations. Um, I don't know if it's better to do them solo or to do them with folks. To me, it seems like it's been better to have our options open to run with other people. And so I'm going to, for the most part, although it's very, very, very iffy meaning fucked up, in regard to how you might decide the game might pair you with somebody. Like, you honestly don't know, you know, what a person's gear level is, what their build is, whether they're even uh, capable of running the set tier that you're at in regard to their gear. And I mean, when I say capable, I'm talking about, being at or above the level of the world tier, at a minimum one below. But I'm kidding you not, even being one below the enemy and loot level of whatever set tier, challenge tier that you're dealing with here, you're talking about misery, trying to get through it, especially in accomplishing the goals that are set before you to get to the next challenge tier, or set tiers. They're called challenge tiers as well as set tiers apparently. But either way, um, like, so for this being enemy level 34, whoever is working with you, or even you yourself, should have an average level of at least 34, which means you could have one or two pieces not at level 34. But I'll be honest with you, the enemy, the AI in the game is all knowing, so it's going to know that you're not, all your gear isn't level 37. I mean 34 in that situation. Or, for example, if I was just going to run at 37. But bottom line is, for this purpose of this example that I'm creating here, is that if all of your gear is not level 34, and your average level is not 34, either way they're going to pick on you a little bit more. It's just that if you have an average level of 34, then your health and your anomaly power will receive the benefit of that average item level. So my maximum health is 2,260 and anomaly power 5,630, and that's dependent on your average gear level more so than what you have. Yes, what you have equipped will influence that as well, but you get a bonus for these attributes, which is interesting. And I think that's the reason why the firepower build is kind of off balance, because um, you get you get an average item level bonus towards your health and your anomaly power, but you don't get one for towards your firepower. So, I think they've overcompensated in some way, shape, or form with the way your firepower can scale in the game versus your anomaly power. Anywho, um, we're going to go ahead and get this going here. Just give me 1 second. I need to go check on something. Um, but I'll pull up a thing or two for your viewing entertainment here. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what we can do here. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anybody joins us, because the player community for this game has drastically diminished. So we shall see. Um, the other goal too is to accomplish each one of these things. Supposedly, each one of the expeditions in the different zones, it supposedly buffs your drop chance for the full